Morning.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning.
Frost on the pumpkin.
Right. Hard to believe this. We're into this season.
Yep. We're here.
Yeah.
Deputy Mayor, we're ready to start the meeting. We are having a connection delay with YouTube, but the video will be up on YouTube shortly, so we can start anyways.
Okay. Thank you very much. Welcome, everyone. Before we begin, I'd like to remind you that this meeting is being recorded and live streamed on the Township YouTube channel. We'll be holding the meeting as though we're in the council chambers, and we'll follow all the regular policies and procedures of the procedural bylaw. Please raise your hand if you'd like to speak on a matter, and I'll call on you. When I call for the vote, I will call for all those in favor, followed by all those opposed. And I would ask you to physically raise your hand to vote in the manner you wish to vote. I now would like to call the roll. Please raise your hand and state the presence when I called your name. Committee member Jim Patterson.
Here.
Welcome, Jim. Committee member Jim Mollahan.
Here.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Committee member Wendy Dunford.
Here.
Wendy. And committee member Rod Manley.
Here.
Staff members this morning, acting clerk planning coordinator Martina Chait Hardwick and planner Christina Coulter. Welcome, everyone. With all of the committee in attendance, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Any disclosure of pecuniary interest with any of the three matters on the agenda? Okay, seeing none. Okay, I guess the first application is Christina. We'll ask you to review it regarding Irwin Inn. And are there representatives from Irwin Inn here or not?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Moher. We don't have anyone representing this application, although Mr. Bob Packenham did send an email indicating that he has read the planning report and that it accurately sets forth the goal of the application. So there's no one in attendance for this application, but we can forward that message along.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
If
So
you
I'll
could give the highlights of it, please.
No problem. So thank you, Mr. Chair and committee members. So this is the severance application B-7122, and the committee has before them report planning 2022-09. The owner and their agent have applied for a lot addition together with a right-of-way. The proposed severed parcel and right-of-way will be added to and in favor of the adjacent property located at 1346 Irwin Road, which is developed with an existing dwelling and detached garage. The severed parcel is designated Lakeshore Residential in the local component of the official plan. Permanent single detached dwellings and seasonal cottages are permitted within the Lakeshore Residential designation, and the official plan permits lot additions and the creation of rights of way. The severed parcel is zoned limited service residential, and this parcel will be merged with the adjacent lands, which are also in the limited service residential zone. The retained parcel is zoned Special District 223 holding, and there are no changes proposed to the retained parcel. So therefore, no rezoning is required for either parcel. The application will not create a new lot and no new development is proposed. So as such, the application appears to conform to the provincial policy statement and growth plan. A merger agreement will be required to ensure the severed parcel and the parcel it's being added to will be considered one lot for planning purposes. So based on staff's review, the recommendation is that it be recommended to council that severance application B-71-22 for Irwin Inn on Stony Lake Incorporated be supported, and if approved, the Peterborough County Land Division Committee by the Peterborough County Land Division Committee that the following township conditions be imposed. So the first condition is a merger agreement be entered into between the transferor and the transferee and the municipality pursuant to section 5126 and section 5312 of the Planning Act, and registered on title to merge the severed parcel with the abutting land identified by property roll number 1522-020-005-41901, such that these two parcels will be considered as one lot and shall not be dealt with separately, or the solicitor for the applicant is to provide an undertaking whereby they inform the Land Division Committee in writing that the lands are being conveyed to an abutting property. And then the second condition is that a $250 merger agreement fee be paid to the township. So with that, I will turn it back to the chair for any questions.
Sure. Any members have any questions or comments? Rod, go ahead.
I certainly support this application. I just have a question. It seems that there is that strip of right of way that's being added to the lot, but it also continues on out to the lake, that strip, right? It's not the entire strip or piece or right of way piece, I guess I could call it. It's sort of be sliced in half. Is that correct, or did I miss something?
So through you, Deputy Mayor Moher, to Committee Member Manley, I believe it's only the red piece that is being added to the adjacent land, but the right of way will continue through for the benefit of others, is my understanding of the application. So only the red piece is being added, but the right of way will be created to be shared by the abutting lot, but by others.
Okay, I know. Okay, thank you.
Well, this is probably a right of way that was a non-open road allowance from many years ago. Township have had a policy of not closing any of those in case down the road that there may be a public need there that could be expanded even further for access to the lake.
Right.
Any further questions? Okay, are you ready for a motion? Rod, go ahead.
I so support this application, go forward to council with the conditions as so noted.
Thank you. And seconder? Jim Patterson? Any further comments or questions? All in favor? Carried. And I noticed I was hoping Bob Packenham would be on the call today. Bob used to be the township lawyer for many, many years, and was probably one of the best lawyers we ever had. He solved a lot of issues in the earlier days of my experience on Douro-Dummer and Douro Township Council. So I wish Bob all the best, and I was hoping we could greet him here this morning, but maybe he's listening. So, okay, thank you, members. I jumped over an item on the agenda I shouldn't have, and that's the minutes from the previous meeting, August the 19th. I assume the committee has had a chance to look at those. We should receive and adopt those if at the pleasure of the committee.
I so move.
It so moves, and seconded by Jim Mullihan. Okay, all those in favor? They're carried. Okay. Next application is for Kane and Ross. And I see Rob Kane may be on the call. So welcome, Rob.
Good morning.
And I would, Christina, can you take us through this application, and then we'll give Rob a chance to comment or any questions that need to be put forward.
Thank you, Chair, through you two and the committee members. This is the severance application B-96-22, and the committee has before them report planning 2022-10. The owner and their agent have applied for a lot addition. The proposed severed parcel will be added to the adjacent property located at 653 County Road 4, which is developed with a single detached dwelling, shed, private well, and septic. The severed parcel is designated rural within the local component of the county official plan. Low-density residential development in the form of a single detached dwelling is permitted within the rural designation. The official plan permits lot additions. The severed parcel is zoned rural, and this parcel will be merged with the abutting lands, which are also zoned rural in the zoning bylaw. Once merged, the severed parcel will enlarge the existing undersized lot and will comply with the minimum lot frontage requirement. That will bring the lot closer to conformity with the minimum lot area requirement for a residential use in the rural zone, and therefore a rezoning has not been required. The retained parcel is zoned rural and environmental conservation, provincially significant wetland, and a rezoning is not required as there are no changes to that parcel. The application will not create a new lot and no new development is proposed. So as such, the application appears to comply with the provincial policy statement and the growth plan. Similar to the last application, a merger agreement will be required to ensure that the severed parcel and the parcel it's being added to will be considered one lot for planning purposes. So based on staff's review, the recommendation is that it be recommended to council that severance application B-96-22 for Bernard Kane and Joseph Ross be supported, and if approved by the Peterborough County Land Division Committee, that the following township conditions be imposed. A merger agreement be entered into between the transferor, transferee, and municipality pursuant to Section 5126 of the Planning Act and Section 5312, and registered on title to merge the severed parcel with the abutting lands identified by property roll number 1522-001-003-11001. Such that these two parcels shall be considered as one lot and shall not be dealt with separately, or the solicitor for the applicant is to provide an undertaking whereby they inform the Land Division Committee in writing that the lands are being conveyed to an abutting property. And then the second condition is that a $250 merger agreement fee be paid to the township. And with that, I'll turn it back to the chair for any questions.
Okay, thank you. Rob, have you, you're representing your dad and Joe. Are there any comments or questions you have at this point?
No, I'm all good. Thank you for taking the time to receive my application or our application. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, committee members, any questions or comments? Looks like a straightforward application. Are we ready for a resolution? Rob Mellahan? Jim?
I'll make a motion that we approve this application B-96-22 according to the conditions as set out by staff.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Seconded by Jim Patterson. Any further comments or questions? All in favor? It's carried. Okay, Rob, you're probably familiar with the routine. This committee recommends to the council of the day at a near future meeting that this be approved and forwarded to the County Land Division, who are the deciding body, along with many other agencies that will be reporting accordingly. So you're well on your way. So a lot of bureaucracy here, but I'm sure it appears to be moving in the right direction. So thank you very much for attending and all the best.
Thank you, committee. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Say hello to your dad.
Well, thank you. Will do. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, next committee item is for Gary Bolton. And Christina, can you go ahead there, please?
Thank you, Chair and committee members. This is there's two applications, severance application B-21-22 and B-22-22, and the committee has before them a report planning 2022-11. The owner has applied for the creation of two new residential lots through these applications. The severed parcels are designated rural in the local component of the county official plan, and the official plan permits limited development by severance in this designation. The subject property is eligible for the creation of 2 residential lots since there have been no previous severances in the last 25 years, and the applicant has owned the property for a minimum of 5 years. The proposed severed parcels will not exceed the maximum lot area of 1 hectare for a residential lot. Since the severed parcels have no direct frontage on County Road 32, an easement or right-of-way will be required from the County of Peterborough to allow access over the Rotary Greenway Scenic River Road Trail. And the County of Peterborough Engineering and Design Division has required that access to the severed parcels be from County Road 32 via a mutual or shared entrance. Test holes will be required to be inspected to ensure that the severed parcels are capable of supporting a septic system. And given the irregular shape of the proposed lots as a result of the natural heritage evaluation, staff are recommending that a survey be prepared which demonstrates that there's a sufficient building envelope possible on each of the severed parcels. The severed parcels will require a rezoning to address the lack of frontage on a public road and potentially address other bylaw deficiencies depending on the outcome of the building envelope survey. The retained parcel will require a rezoning to address the reduced lot area and recognize that there is no lot frontage within the portion of the property that is zoned rural. I'm just going to note for the committee that the severed and retained parcels can be zoned through the submission of 1 rezoning application and 1 application fee, so there wouldn't be the need for 3 applications. Due to the presence of a number of key natural heritage features and key hydrological features, a natural heritage evaluation was prepared by Oak Ridge Environmental, and this was reviewed by the Otonabee Region Conservation Authority. Orca indicated in their July 27th comments that are attached to the report that provided the proposal adheres to the recommendations of the natural heritage evaluation, including the June 24th, 2022 Oak Ridge environmental response. The applications will demonstrate consistency with the provincial policy statement and conformity with the growth plan relative to Orca's mandate. So in order to ensure growth plan policy compliance, staff have recommended that a mitigation measures agreement be entered into between the owner and the municipality, and that will be detailed in the recommendation section. The subject property is located within a vulnerable area for municipal drinking water, and a notice under the Clean Water Act has been obtained for both parcels. So based on staff's review, the recommendation is that it be recommended to council that severance applications B-21-22 and B-2222 for Gary Bolton be supported, and if approved by the Peterborough County Land Division Committee, that the following conditions be imposed. There's a few of them. So we would request $1,250 cash in lieu of parkland be paid to the municipality for each lot, that a survey be prepared which demonstrates there is a sufficient building envelope to accommodate a residential dwelling and private well and septic services on each of the severed parcels. And I'll just jump in there that we have received a draft of that from the applicant, and it does appear that they will have a sufficient envelope, but it's still in a draft form at this point. So a rezoning of the severed parcels be obtained to the satisfaction of the municipality to recognize a lack of frontage and, if necessary, to accommodate a sufficient building envelope on each lot. A rezoning of the retained lot be obtained to the satisfaction of the municipality, which would address the deficient lot area and the lack of frontage within the portion of the retained parcel that is zoned rural. A mitigation and measures agreement be entered into between the owner and the municipality and registered on title at the owner's expense, which would recognize the recommendations included in section 11 of the natural heritage evaluation prepared by Oak Ridge Environmental dated December 2021, and the additional recommendations contained in the June 24th, 2022 Oak Ridge Environmental Response. including updating the reference from the Natural Heritage Evaluation Figure 7 to Figure 7R. An easement be granted by the County of Peterborough to allow access to the severed parcels over the Lakefield Trail from County Road 32. And that test holes for the septic systems be inspected, and there is a fee to inspect those test holes to ensure a septic system would be viable. And our current fees are $150 per lot, and the applicant is responsible for digging those test holes. So with that, I will turn it back to the chair.
Okay, thank you, Christina. A lot of detail here that appeared to be well underway for getting it approved. And I noticed Gary has joined us. Gary Bolton has joined the meeting. Gary, is there any comments that you'd like to make relative to your applications before I ask for any questions from committee?
No, thank you very much. I think we've done our due diligence, and
I think you're cutting out.
I'm okay with everything.
Okay, thank you. Okay, questions from members? Any comments, questions? Look, go ahead, Rod.
So I had to get my compass out for this one again, and it went considerably better. I just have a question. With access to the two lots, and I understand it's to be mutual, needs permission to cross the rail trail, but then does it come out onto County Road 32 separately?
Yes, through you, Deputy Mayor, to Committee Member Manley. Yes, that's correct. So the entrance will cross the trail and then will come out onto County Road 32. It will be one shared entrance for both, serving both lots.
Which will be just very close to the existing entrance to the retained portion, correct? That's
through
okay.
you. Yes, there are a number of entrances, but the County of Peterborough has said that they can support an entrance in that location, provided it is a mutual entrance.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Any further questions? Are we ready for a recommendation to council? Go ahead, Rod.
I so move the approval of this application forward to council with all of the recommendations as so noted by staff.
Thank you. Seconded by Jim Patterson. Any further comments or questions? All in favor? Okay, Gary, this is this recommendation will be forwarded to a council of the day in the near future. And we're the Township of Douro-Dummer is one of the many agencies that comment on this. I think as general comment, it would appear that everything is well underway. And I'm sure that you're in the middle of dealing with other agencies as well. So all the best on it, and hopefully everything goes well.
Great, thank you. Have a good day.
Yep. Okay, thank you. That ends our agenda today. Our next meeting, I understand from Christina, there might be an application or two in the works. So we will have to schedule a meeting at the in October. So Martina, do you want to? Is there a?
So I know that there's some conflicts. We have the election coming up, of course, and so we want to hold this meeting prior to the election. And I know there's a conflict on October 21st, which would be the third Friday in the month. So we are suggesting that we hold the meeting on October 20th, the Thursday instead, if that suits the committee.
Is that the 20th okay with members? Jim, okay, it's okay.
We're fine with being.
Jim, are you okay? Are you okay, Rod? And Wendy?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's great. So 9 o'clock that day. Committee of Adjustment or Committee of Planning or both. So thank you very much for attending this morning, and I think hopefully everyone has a good weekend in this fall weather.
Nice.
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
Where are those skates, right?
Right. Thank you for your commitment to this, this committee.
And Christina, you did an excellent job walking through that last one especially. That is about the most complex application I think this committee has dealt with in the last few years. So
It had a
Well
few
done.
steps. Yep, thank you.
A
Okay,
motion to,
motion to adjourn, Wendy, and seconded by? Okay, Jim Mullihan. I thought we weren't going to get a seconder there. We'd be all day. All those in favor?
just keep going.
It's carried. So all the best. and Have a good weekend.
Have a good day
You too.
all.
Bye-bye.
bye.